Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there is Adam Glyn. It is time to get into some of the hot topics of the week. Adam, how you doing? Is it cold out there? Why are you wearing a beanie?
It actually is cold today. It's in the 40s, and it's in the 40s. It's a little cold. It's supposed to hopefully getting warmer soon. Now is like the start of my busy season. So it's starting to get a little bit crazier. I've been sort of picking and choosing my battles lately, but I'll be honest with you, it's getting a lot more weirder for my job because people make a big deal. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but people make a big deal about paparazzi harassing celebrities and whatnot. And I promise you, it's not even as close as bad as it is with these, at least in New York, with these fans. And it's just like it's these people that are out 80 hours a week and they're like crazy. They're legit crazy. So it's just, when you meet a celebrity and you have this like nut job who's looking for 40 photos with them outside, and to make these celebrities do like tons of poses with them, it ruins the experience of trying to meet these people for me.
I 100% agree with that.
And then I don't want them to think I'm with them, like I'm part of that. So I'd like to kind of separate myself from that. But the next month is going to start getting busy for me. So I'm excited to kind of start moving around. I'm going to run out today, try to see what's going on, and try to see if I get lucky.
Have you ever seen Tom Cruise out in the street? I don't think I've asked you that. Have you seen Tom? Yeah?
I have. I saw him when he was, I don't even know what year he broke up with Katie, but I guess I saw him a little bit with Katie, or at least during the divorce. But yeah, I've seen Tom Cruise in person, and it's very surreal when you see him in person. Like, it's like, that's Tom Cruise. And I don't know why. Because it's not like Tom Cruise does every single movie these days. Like, he doesn't even work that much
But he's like
anymore.
reclusive, and that's why it's kind of exciting to see him, because you don't see him very often. I don't even know if he's living in the US. Last time I heard, he was living over in London, like in some big flat over there, and has parties at his house. But the last time I saw him, he was on his motorcycle in like Beverly Hills, because you know how he has that home in Beverly Hills that he shared with Katie.
Yeah.
And one day, I think I just happened to be in the area, and I knew where his house was. And like when people come in from out of town, I'll take them, to certain landmarks all around LA. Here's the Grauman's Theater, here's the walk, and then I have this tour that I can be like, and there's the old Osborne house, and here's where they filmed Death Becomes Us, and one of the stops is literally Tom Cruise. Even though you can't see the house, it was like, here's the gate. The dude pulled in on his like red motorcycle while we were stopped right there. I was like, oh my God. It was Tom Cruise.
That is so
pulling
cool.
into the home.
Did he have like a security card following, or was he just by himself on his motorcycle?
Just by himself.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You know what the cool part about it? We'll go back to Tom Cruise, but the cool part of LA is like, sometimes if I have a meeting in the Hollywood area, more like Beverly Hills-ish, West Hollywood area kind of thing, I'll sort of just roam around the hills a little bit, like drive around the hills, because I'm in a rental car and I don't care about the miles. But and twice I kind of stumbled upon two cool things. One was the Osborne house, which is like, oh my God, this is the Osborne house, which they don't live there anymore.
And it's like right off. It's like right off Hollywood or whatever, or Sunset. It's so close. It's one street over.
It's so close to Sunset. I'm like, you guys were. Ozzy lived here. Like, he'd want to live this close to Sunset Boulevard.
And Christina Aguilera lives there now, right?
No, I didn't.
Christina Aguilera lives in the house that the Osbournes used to live in on the TV show.
That's pretty funny. I know there's I don't want to say that celebrity's name because I was recently at their house. They live like 2 blocks off Sunset, which I was surprised. And part of me feels like if I had all this money, I don't know if I'd want to live that close to Sunset. Would you?
No. And Halle Berry, she lived super close. Like, you'd go up Doheny, and it was like her house was like the 5th or 6th one up there. You just had to know where it's at.
Yeah. Did I tell you the time I went to someone's, like, I'm not used to going to Hollywood houses like that, or like the setup. I don't know how these people live. And I went to a pretty big star's house. I'm not going to say the name because I'm trying to work with them and I don't want to make it weird. So I show up. I don't even know how to use the buzzer to get in, but they had like the walls in front of the house. So it's like weird when you live in these Hollywood houses, you don't even get to meet your neighbors or even know who they are, because you're just blocked off. You're almost living in such a walled off bush place that you just don't see each other. You don't go for walks. It's the total opposite of community for me at least. And
Yeah.
I pull into the celebrity's driveway, and then near the buzzer, I hit the button. This sounds like hello, and it wasn't this. I'm like, yeah, Adam here for blah blah, and Adam here for Harrison Ford. No, I'm kidding. No, Adam here for this person. Like, oh, come in. The door opens. There's a guy there. The driveway was super tight. There's a guy there, and I didn't know who he was. And he's like, hey, how are you? I was like, good. And then I was like, I didn't even know where to park my car in the driveway. It just felt so weird. I didn't know. I don't want to just. And then I thought the guy was valet. I didn't know who he was. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm security. Like, I was like, oh. So the celebrity had like a security person who lived on their property, or
Yep.
just maybe at night or during the day would just kind of hang out and just stay up all night in the driveway. But I was so embarrassed because I didn't know where to park, how to park. I'm used to like pulling up to a friend's house and just parking on the street and just walking in. But this was like a whole weird thing. And then he was just like, hey, just go inside. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, just go inside. So I walked in the celebrity's house, like, hello? They're like, oh, yeah. And then I took off. The shoes were on the side, so I took off my shoes because I felt weird. I don't know, dude. I had so much, like, I was so
It's
uncomfortable.
got to be a pretty big celeb you're hanging out with if they've got full-time security. Not a lot of celebs have full-time security like that.
Yes. I mean, they're not, they're a solid celebrity.
Hmm.
I would say they're a solid celebrity. Their partner is and I say partner because it could be a husband, it could be a wife, it could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever. Their other half is a very big celebrity. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into it more, but very cool to be in their house too. And fuck, it was nice. If I could design a house any way, it would be exactly how they did it. It was like to the extreme. It's perfect. And funny because I'll send you afterwards. Their person's house was on Architectural Digest, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. It's so cool. Anyway, back to Tom Cruise,
Wait,
Dax.
I did want to correct one thing. Christina has since sold the Osborne house, so I just wanted
Okay.
to throw that out there. She does not actually live in it anymore, but if you ever drive past it, you can see where the Osbornes lived and Christina Aguilera lived. It was that famous house from the show.
So cool. I wonder if they used the same toilet seat or if they changed it. You know what I mean?
You're so random.
Yeah, it's the weird things that I'm just curious about, but that's sort of unique when celebrities buy each other's houses. Back to Tom Cruise.
Yep.
That's cool they got to see him on a motorcycle of all things. I saw him. It's harder to see him in New York by himself. I've
Mhm.
seen him with like very low key security, but the security is very cool. They're almost like let him like he's a pro. Don't worry about it. And they're there just to make sure nothing's gonna happen, but they know like at least for they don't have to worry about paparazzi as much. They have to worry about the fans because the fans are just insane. But when you see him, he's not a big guy, but he just has this look where like I've said this about stars, Dax, and I've been around a lot of celebrities. There's celebrities, and then there's stars. There's like the Julian Huffs of the world. They're like, oh, it's Julian Huff. And then there's the stars. When you see them, you're like, whoa. And there's an energy that comes from him.
Mhm.
It's the hardest thing to explain, but once you experience it, you're like, oh, I get it. But I don't know if he had that kind of star power when he first started going in Hollywood. Because you think of like now, Dax, would you say Tom Cruise now is just an action star?
Yeah, but I would still think he's probably one of the biggest celebrities on the planet, the biggest movie stars on the planet. I think technically, if you want to say it, I think The Rock is actually the biggest star on the planet in regards to acting. I wouldn't say fame in general. I'd give that to Cristiano Ronaldo, but I think The Rock is one of the most famous actors on the planet. Tom Cruise, though, I mean, there's not anyone much bigger than him.
But what makes Tom Cruise a star? Like, why do we care about him so much? Like now,
Because
it's like
he's been in some of the biggest movies with Top Gun, Mission Impossible, Edge of Tomorrow, Jack Reacher. I mean, he's done these huge movies over and over and over throughout the years. So I think that's what makes him like this true star. A Few Good Men. Sorry, I'm like forgetting some of his biggest roles. Rain Man. I mean, Jerry Maguire.
Jerry
He has
Maguire. Yeah.
been nominated for multiple Oscars. Granted, I don't really think he's doing the roles for Oscars anymore. That was kind of in his past, but he became super famous. And then he could even do like he's got this range as well. He can do comedies like Tropic Thunder, but then he can do like hard action, and then he can do like the dramas. He can kind of do it all, and that's why I think he's been so successful.
Well, it's in I guess the 80s and the 90s. That's when he mostly did those type of movies, the Top Guns and the the Jerry Maguires, which Jerry Maguire was a good movie. It was, which I think it was Artie Lang had a great story about him on set, like how he's just very like pumped up on set, like he's very focused, like he's hyper focused. I don't know if he's just a workaholic or what, but you look at what he's done since, I don't know, the 2000s. He's done Mission Impossible, which how many Mission Impossibles have they done? They did Top
Like
Gun Maverick. He's done
19.
He's
But by
done
the
Jack
way,
Reacher, War of the Worlds.
did you see the new Mission Impossible
I did.
trailer? And
I did.
thoughts?
You want to know something, Dax?
Oh
I'll tell you
no.
something. I'm going to tell you something first that's going to be a little embarrassing.
Okay.
I've never watched a Mission Impossible movie.
Not a single one?
I've seen the trailers. I like some of the soundtracks, but I've never watched the movies because I didn't during those times when those movies came out, I didn't really go to theaters, and I feel like those movies you have to watch in theaters. But this movie, the new Mission Impossible trailer just came out. The trailer looks so cool that I might have to go see this movie in theaters. Like it looks cool.
I don't know how it's possible that you haven't seen one. The movies are fantastic. He has done such a good job. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Tom Cruise is such a weirdo in real life. Like, he just comes across as a super weirdo. Like, God, I love him in movies. I think he's a phenomenal actor. Anytime he comes out in a movie, I'm like, gotta go see it. Even though I think that he must be a strange individual.
He, I respect that he's really at his age, especially he does his own stunts. I mean, the guy is flying planes. He's hanging on planes. I know he broke his ankle mid scene one time and still finished the take. I mean,
But
he's
do you think he does this because that's like his brand now? Like this, the doing your own stunts is Tom Cruise's brand at this point, right? Like I think he leaned in hard to that a couple of years, I don't know, 10 years ago and hasn't looked back. And I think that's why he does all action films at this point.
well. It's funny. I was talking to a buddy this morning, and I said to him like, I'm not the CGI fan. We grew up in an era when you saw an explosion in a movie, it was an actual explosion. Now
That's
you
what
have to
you
see it
think.
through.
That's what you think, Adam.
No.
You don't see on like I'm going through Instagram or whatever and they're showing behind the scenes of all these movies how they were made. And I'm like, that shit was on a green screen? No way. Like even movies that like I feel like are older or whatever, you look back and a lot of this shit was done on like green screens. It's crazy how good they made this stuff look.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're like in Indiana Jones movie. I do think they had some fire. I feel like we, I could tell between sometimes a green screen
Mm-hmm.
and a real explosion, like on a Speed movie, for example. I would have to see the how they made the movie Speed, which when
That's so
I'm
funny.
cool
That's
with.
literally what came to my mind was Speed. I don't know why you said it, but to me it was like Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves, Speed. Like that's what I had in my mind, and then you said it. How funny!
Isn't Speed one of those movies you remember where you saw it the first time? It was just
N-
such a cool movie that made
No,
Sandra
no
Bullock into
chance.
a star. Keanu Reeves, like,
I
no,
don't
you don't
remember
remember
where I
where you
watched
saw it?
it.
I remember the
No,
theater I saw it. That might have been the biggest thriller, maybe the first thriller I saw because it was a thriller action movie, but like amazing. They don't make them like they do. I'm like, maybe they do, and I just don't watch. But I will. I think I will go to the theaters and see this new Mission Impossible because the trailer alone looks pretty awesome, and the CGI in it, it looks pretty, and it just makes me like Tom Cruise is just such a unique guy. Like people say, he's made very smart moves and
hmm
in business, and I guess I don't know, not business, but in picking his roles, and he showed his range. But I guess when it comes to when it comes to studios, they know to invest in him because he's so good at promoting movies. Like you've heard the stories when Tom Cruise is on a red carpet, he stops for every single reporter. He really goes all out promoting a movie. So I mean, there's no chance you're going to see Tom Cruise do an A24 movie or some indie movie, or maybe he would. That would be pretty cool. But at this point right now, like studios will put a lot of money behind Tom Cruise movies because he will go. The other side of it is like he's a big star, but he goes above and beyond to promote them. And yeah, those those stunts that adds into the excitement for the movie.
well, that's why they do
But
all
the
this like
insurance has got to be
film.
so high.
So high, but that's why they do all the behind the scenes shooting because they know we're going to use this. You remember when the Mission Impossible came out and he was climbing the Burj Khalifa? That was a massive marketing spin. That was kind of the first time he started doing his own stunts. but they use that. And then when you go to the movie, you're excited because you're like, holy shit, this is real. Like, this isn't fake. We're all used to the fake stuff. But when you see him hanging off the side of the world's tallest building, like, that's wild that he did that. And now they've done it over and over again with him hanging out of the side of the plane. Do you remember the last movie where he like rode his motorcycle off a cliff and
I didn't see,
then he
again, I
like
didn't see it, but I
skydived?
saw the
Well,
clip. The clip
they
ran all over my social media, my algorithm, how they showed
correct.
how he did it. Yeah.
Exactly. So they showed
Crazy
how
when
he
they
did
did.
it. But that became such a huge marketing play. By the way, we haven't even read a review. Can I do that real fast?
Yeah.
Sorry, we gotta do a review. Say thank you to a couple people out there. All right, this one comes from Jen Sib 1, Hollywood Raw, 5 stars. Always an entertaining show, whether it's the Raw Rundown or a guest. And Adam, I get it. I'm 32, and Robbie Williams in the Millennium music video was my sexual awakening. Was that your sexual awakening too, Adam?
I don't know. I think it's been continuous for 30 years now. It's my sexual awakening. It just, it keeps shaking in my pants. But yeah,
Oh,
he's the man. He's the man.
he's
And
the
honestly,
man.
the Better Man right now. The movie's on Amazon Prime right now. Watch it and let me know what you think on our private Facebook group. Off the record, let me know what you think of Better Man. It's on Amazon Prime, and also let me know what you think of The Studio on Apple TV. And, that's really good. I'm watching that. So
All
yeah.
right. Oh, I have a question for you. I was thinking about this and I wanted to bring this up on the podcast. Just because, we've been talking so much about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And I started to think, is there anything that she can do at this point to rectify her reputation, her career, or is she done? Is she going to get kicked out of Hollywood at this point? Will no one work with her because she has sullied her reputation so much? Is there anything Blake Lively can do to rebound from this shitstorm that she got herself into?
I would say the first thing is to take a break. Let the news cycle work. And when I mean news cycle work, the news, once you stories keep, there's so many stories throughout the day. So let those other stories kind of happen. Stay awake, get out, don't go on social media. Just relax, just chill, just give yourself a long break from the game. Let the other stories kind of give themselves gas and let them kind of break themselves. And then I would say in 3 months, if you want to take the summer off, enjoy it with your family, chill, and then come back very, randomly. Maybe chime in
Mhm.
on fan social media. Maybe say, "Oh, that's a really cool photo." Just like have fun with a fan. I think also she has to be very, very honest. Lastly, I think people love an honest person, and
Mhm.
she has to be vulnerable. I don't know. I think vulnerable and fun and funny. I think at the end of the day,
Do
the
you think
word to
that
describe she has to be is charm. She has to be charming.
do you think she comes out with a huge apology? Like, do you think that she just
No,
owns up to it? And
no.
because there's a sense of vulnerability there, she comes out and says, I'm really sorry that this has spiraled so much. This was a private matter that I should have never made public. And, I'm just really sorry that we could have solved this behind closed doors, but we didn't. And I really regret everything. Let's move along with life.
Yeah, no, I don't think that happens. Especially because it's such a huge accusation. You can't just apologize for sexual harassment. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, here's one. What if Blake Lively, to rehab her image, was to play a villain role? Like, she was to get cast in a movie. She specifically goes out, looks for a role where she is the villain, leans into it. Because if you remember, Taylor Swift did something similar when she had the Reputation tour and she came back and she was calling herself a snake and all of these things and said her reputation's in the trash. And kind of, I feel like, leaned into being a villain, and then it catapulted her back because then people liked that she kind of owned it after the Kanye and Kim and Taylor Swift, that the video that had come out saying that she was okay being called a bitch and all of that. Do you think that that would help rebound her career? Like,
I
play into the villain.
I do, Dex. And I think that's a really, really good idea. It's like a play out of the wrestling book. And I think WWE, WWF is like a good backbone for WWE where they kind of steal each other's storylines. But you would have to do this after the court, after it's all sort of settled. I mean, it's going to be a while until she's able to do something like this
Mhm.
because it can't really go into or kind of mess with jurors' eyes or perspectives because they've read the news into the case. So I think if she were to go that route, it would just have to be more than a year
She'd
from now.
have to, yeah. I mean, Taylor disappeared for a year. Do you remember? She
Yeah.
was just like, she disappeared out of the view of everyone. Taylor fucking really knows how to work it. I think if
Does she know how
you
to work it? Does she have the money to
no,
kind of work
just
it as
no,
well?
she's just smart. She's smart with, again, her reputation, but I think the way that Taylor played it, Blake should be hitting up Taylor and saying, "What do I do? What do I do now? How do I get myself out of this situation?" Taylor's been there. She knows how to do it. Call up your friend and figure it
I,
out.
well, who knows what kind of friendship these two have at the moment? And
I'm
I'm sure
sure they're
Taylor.
still friends.
Well, I'd say Taylor wants to still keep her distance, and it's like an awkward conversation
Yeah,
where she
publicly,
wants
but
nothing to do with it.
I'm sure Blake and Taylor are still talking on the phone. There's no way that because she had an issue with someone else that suddenly Taylor turned her back on her. I don't think that's the case. They're really tight. I think it's I can't be seen out with you in public, so you can't come with me to the Super Bowl this year, but I'll see you later. I think that's kind of the issue. Or does Blake kind of do a reinvention of herself? Does she,
What do you
like you
do with
said,
that?
disappear for a year, come back, and she like changes her look? She changes the iconic hair that she has with all the blonde curls, maybe goes darker, just kind of reinvents herself, and she's like the new Blake has emerged and she is shedding her past and starting on a new page, something like that, where it's kind of almost jarring to see her in this new look, and so you almost picture her as a new person. Is there a possibility for that being her launching pad?
I wouldn't say change her look because I don't think that would really translate well. I think she looks great.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you need the subconscious to be like, oh, it's a new person. So I think the changing the look correlates with she's a new, different person under there. You can't
I
just
would.
come out as the same looking person. I think that's why you see all these celebs reinvent themselves, and Miley Cyrus cut off all her hair and dye it blonde, or someone shaved their head. I mean, that is so altering that people associate it with new.
I don't think we're going to see Blake come out in 8 months from now with forearm tattoos and brunette and all jacked up, and she looks like a barista at a coffee shop in Brooklyn. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think that is in her. But
Mhm.
I do think that the SNL 50 thing, I totally understand for her not to speak up because it is, again, a serious case going on. Ryan kind of stepped up, but it's also affecting Ryan's career too. Like, what does Ryan do in this situation? Because Blake also brought down Ryan a little bit. And yes, they
Oh,
are a
he
couple
he
that,
came crashing down with her, 100%. That guy had an untouchable, I would say, like persona in Hollywood. Everyone wanted to work with him. He became the kind of guy. He was so funny with Deadpool, and even like his Instagram and TikTok, or not TikTok, Twitter. All of it was just on point, and I feel like this derailed him as well. He also is tarnished in Hollywood at this point.
this is what I do. I like the idea of leaning into a little bit if she picks a role as a villain, but it'd have to be later on. But also, and then she's like, listen, if you're going to make me a villain, I'll be a villain in roles. But I think we both agree she has to disappear for a little bit, which sounds so
Mhm.
weird. Just disappear. Just no. She has to kind of stay quiet for a little bit, but then eventually be seen at a concert. Go to a fun concert and just be there with the audience. Don't be in VIP. Go in general admission. Just be nice to people, which I'm
Uh,
sure she is. But like, just go to
you
a
know what?
concert and see Radiohead with the crowd. Don't stand behind the stage.
Or she leans into just working behind the camera. Like, stop trying to be the actress in front of the camera. Just start focusing on being a director or producer. Come up with good projects. The way I look at it, I'm like, if Mel Gibson can somehow make his way back into Hollywood, Blake Lively will be able to make it back into Hollywood, because Mel Gibson had a horrible tarnished reputation after everything. Somehow he's been able to make his way back. I mean, even Tiger Woods. Like, there's certain people that even after the really, really shit storm that they went through are able to come back. So I got to imagine if she really wants to do it and she does it right and she takes time, time heals everything. I feel like. So you're right. You disappear, people will start to forget.
Don't do don't do a podcast. Please don't do a podcast. We don't need another podcast out there. Don't make it a public announcement if you donate to a charity. Maybe even donate. I don't know. I would say do like go look on GoFundMe. Find some sad case on GoFundMe and just donate $5,000 to it and just say from Bill
Okay.
Lively.
I think you're in going down the right path. If she was to start anonymously donating, like Robin Hood style, to all these causes, and then it gets leaked, and I say leaked by quote unquote leaked out
Yeah.
later that she was the Robin Hood behind all these good deeds, that could be a good publicity stunt, PR move
Yeah.
for her.
Um,
I don't know.
yeah. Actually, Dax, I know what I'm going to tell you. So, know what happened? Know what's been going on? I only go on Facebook for birthday stuff, like to wish people happy birthday. I'm not a big
Mhm.
Facebook.
By the way, it
I go
was
on
your
Facebook for
birthday
a
this
private.
week. Happy
It
birthday,
was.
Adam.
Thank you,
Happy
bud. I
birthday.
appreciate that. It was my birthday. It was really nice to turn 19 again for the 20th time. So it was really cool. But I go on birthday for our private Facebook group off the record and to kind of like wish people happy birthday. That's what I do. But I have a few celebrities in my phone, and it's like I'll tell you one of them. But it's so funny to be. I'll tell you one of the celebrities. I have a few others that like how Facebook will kind of show you like who like hey you might know this person
Yeah.
type people. Like I get like Shaquille. Hey, do you want to add Shaquille O'Neal on Facebook? And it's like I guess Shaq's like personal Facebook
He
because like
has
they're
a
in my
personal
phone.
Facebook.
Yeah, like some celebrities I know have
Well,
personal
okay. Does he
Facebooks.
go by Shaq on there, or is it a?
I don't want to say what he goes by on.
No, no,
I don't
no.
want to say.
Is it just a fake name though?
It's a playful name.
Okay, that's all.
A
I'm
playful.
just
It's not
curious.
like he's.
I
It's
was
not like he
curious if
goes on
people are
as like
going.
Mike Jones or something like that. No,
Yeah,
he makes it a playful name on it. And a
gotcha.
few other people I've have on my phone randomly. They've come on my Facebook. It's not their page, it's them. And I
Hmm.
know that just because I kind of stalked it a little bit. I was like, oh, this is really them. And it's sort of like weird. Like, it's kind of cool to see, like, oh man, because it's different than Instagram. But I think I said on our nah, never mind. I told the story last week in a private Facebook group that my story last week on Instagram where I made a joke saying I was the new cast member on Bravo Summer
Oh
House,
yeah,
and I had all the cast members look at my story,
yeah.
and
They're all
I'm
like, "Is he coming
sure
on?"
they passed it to each other like, "Do you know this guy? Like this guy's coming on the show," and so bizarre. Speaking of social media stars, Dax, are you going to be one of the people going to Coachella this weekend? Where it's going to be all over the news. Does that excite you? Will we see you at Coachella?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
This year, I would totally want to go.
Really? What?
And you know
What's
me, I am not a Coachella person. I don't care. I don't want to go sit in the desert. It's not my thing. But this lineup to have Lady Gaga on Friday, Green Day Saturday, Post Malone Sunday, Missy Elliott's there. Like, dude, what a dream! Just for me personally, I love all of them. I love all their catalogs. So to me, this would be, and I've heard Kendrick. I don't know if that's accurate. Like potentially Kendrick's there.
they say
If
yeah.
Kendrick's there, then that would just be even icing on the cake for me. I love all of these people, so that would be a really fun Coachella to check out.
I have I would have desire if I everything was paid for. If you asked me to spend more than $100 to make it all work, I wouldn't
Yeah,
do it. If you asked me to pay for the flight, I wouldn't do it. I've been
I don't
fortunate to
think.
see Lady Gaga at the
Yeah,
Apollo. I've seen Post Malone a few times. Green Day is like cool, but I'm not like an obsessive Green Day fan. I've seen Missy Elliott perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, whatever. So
mhm.
like, and that's a fun one. But other than that, it just seems like so much work, and
I don't
it's
think
Coachella's so expensive too.
I don't think people realize how expensive Coachella really is. Like everyone's like, "Oh, just festival," but like a general admission is like $550 just to go sit in the normie crowd section of Coachella, and then you've got VIP passes, which aren't truly like VIP, and those are going for over $1,000. And when I say that's not even VIP, because there's different levels of VIP at Coachella. There's like, hey, you get to stand in this area for an extra $500, and maybe you've got access to better toilets or bars that are less crowded. But where it really gets expensive is when you want to go and you get these artist guest passes, and the
Yeah, that's
artist
the big
guest
one.
passes $4,400 for the weekend. And again, there's still a level above that people can get. So the artist guest passes, you obviously have access to the general admission and the VIP area, but then you've got like these restricted areas such as the artist compound, backstage sections, and you kind of feel like an insider, but you're paying $5,000 to feel like the insider. But Adam, do you know about the Artist A Pass? The Artist A Pass is almost $10,000, and that one is the one that everyone wants. You can't have, they don't give it out to everyone. You can't just
Yep,
go
know
online and
someone
buy
to
it.
actually get it. Yeah, you have to know someone to kind of get the I actually know someone who I could get those passes from. Anybody wants, let me know. I'll hook you up, but you have to pay the money and pay $10,000 to kind of get that pass. And wow,
But
$10,000 per
and
person.
that's the one though that you have access where you're going to be running into the biggest names backstage because you have kind of free flow of everywhere. Again, if you are someone who's mega rich, that might be worth it to you so that you can be backstage hanging out with Paris Hilton and Billie Eilish, and Green Day walks by and Gaga comes off stage and you give her a high five. For someone, $10,000 for a weekend, I could see a lot of people doing that. That's just crazy money though.
It's crazy that we're saying, like you and I as common folks, as you middle class, I'm middle class. I know I'm middle class, but I'm low class actually. Or no class. But you're like, oh my god, who would pay $10,000 for one ticket to have these artist passes? And you'd be shocked to know how much it's in demand. I mean, I
A
have a
lot of
buddy who makes
people,
a lot
yep.
of money, and that's like the good rate. Actually, depending on how in demand the pass is, because there's only so many of those, that price could even go higher. You know, there might be a ton of people that want to actually go see, let's say, I don't know, Paul McCartney's playing with Rihanna on one night. That ticket that was supposed to be $10,000 could go for $25,000 because it's so in demand and there's only so many of those artist passes. So Coachella's become such a status festival. It's status just to go to Coachella because there is so much work that goes along with going to Coachella because there's no place to stay there. I actually have never
Mhm.
been to that area of California. Dax, you
I
have.
mean,
I'm sure, right?
yeah, you go out to Coachella Valley or Palm Springs. I mean, there's a gazillion homes out there, but they're all the prices that weekend get jacked up through the roof because whenever you normally go out there, you can get an Airbnb for a couple $100 or whatever. But that weekend, they're charging thousands of dollars a night. They've even got people have got like, hey, I have a bed in a garage that you can, rent for the evening for $200. Like a bed in a garage. Think about that. You're not even in a home, or people are saying you can stay in their backyard. You can camp in their backyard for a couple $100 a night. I mean, it's dumb expensive what they do. They take full advantage of all the people that are coming out there that need a place to stay.
Yeah, I mean, based on I've never been to that area alone. It looks very pretty. I've been to a lot. I've been to like everywhere in California except Palm Springs, believe it or not. And
You'd love
it's
it. It's beautiful out there. It's a fun place to go when you just want to like do nothing. But
yeah.
you need to hit the season right. Like spring, fall is kind of the best times to go out there because summer it's 120. You can't be outside. You're living in the pool because you're just melting. So there's certain times of the year that's really good to be out there.
California is just such a cool state where you live. I mean, there's just so
Yeah, you
much to
should you
do and
should you should
explore.
try coming out here and move out here. It's great.
You know, if I w- the problem is, and I thought about that, like, oh, should I just move out to California? But I'm so established in New York City that it'd be starting over. And for me, I became a big fish in a small pond. Where in LA, I'd be you know, a small fish in a big pond. So it's
I
not
like how
worth
you
it. I'm
say
too
that
established
about
in New
New
York.
York, even though New York is one of the biggest, most populated states in the country.
You know what's so funny, Dax? I used to tell an old boss of ours that all the time. I'm like, you don't understand, some guys. Like I know this city well. I know people. Like I'm okay here. And they didn't realize like I'm good in New York. Like I'm not saying I'm running for the mayor anytime soon, but I'm a celebrity when it comes to FedEx drivers, UPS drivers, cab drivers, guys who work at hotels.
Valets.
When it comes to parking attendants, parking cops, like they all know me. When it comes to rich people, they all hate me. So it's a very tough thing that I kind of struggle with back and forth. Dax, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Bravo Summer House. I'm not even a Bravo guy. When we had the chance to go to BravoCon, I sort of stepped out. I was like, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
good. I didn't really care. I'm not a
Which
soap
was
opera
funny
guy.
because I kind of like secondhand watched Bravo, but you actively watched Summer House, and I was the one
It's the only
there.
show.
And Melissa Rivers was like, "Oh, do you know who that person is? Do you know that person?" I'm like, no, I know who the big housewives are, but I don't know who any of these other people are."
I
But
don't watch
it
Bravo.
was, I loved every second of being at BravoCon. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine sitting that one out.
Dude, you
Like
missed out. We had so much fun with Melissa and I, like sneaking around backstage. It was great.
that's the part I feel like I miss out is you just hanging out with Melissa because Melissa's so cool. But I don't watch the all the housewife franchises.
Mhm.
I just it's too hard to keep up, and I rather do other things. I'm working on some stuff that will probably not pan out, but it's fun to say I'm working on things because that's what you do. I see on social media, you just keep saying you have big things and nothing ever happens. But but I am obsessed with Summer House, and I don't know why. And I always go back to it's the only show that to me I was a big Real World fan.
Mhm.
So do you still watch reality TV though?
Not as much, honestly, not as much as I used to. I think I just get caught up in Netflix and dramas or actually scripted shows. I don't know. We used to be obsessed with Jersey Shore. You know that I was a massive Jersey Shore fan. That was like my thing. We loved The Bachelor for a long time and The Bachelorette and also Bachelor in Paradise. We were big fans of that. And then I don't know, something shifted and we just don't spend a lot of time doing that. I used to watch The Amazing Race. I loved that show just because it was different, it was unique, but never been, I don't know, massive reality. Like I don't just sit there and watch all reality show. It's not my thing anymore.
Do you think reality TV is almost on the way out?
No, I think there's still a massive audience. I mean, what would you say is the biggest reality show out there?
So I know, but I'm asking you, do you know what do you think is the most successful reality show of all time?
Is it not Amazing Race?
No. It's up
No.
there though. Amazing Race is very successful, which is funny because I think a lot of people there's a hardcore fan base for this show.
Hmm.
But the people that I haven't watched it in years, but it's been going on for so long is
The hell's
Survivor.
been going on?
Survivor is
Oh,
the most successful
I'm
reality show
such
of
an
all time.
idiot.
What?
I'm such an idiot. That totally makes sense. In my mind, I couldn't even think of anything bigger than Amazing Race. You're right. Survivor has been, and I was never a Survivor fan. Like I know it. I've seen lots of clips, but I've never got into Survivor, and I don't know why. It's a great show.
40 seasons of that show. Isn't
I
that crazy?
where does Naked and Afraid rank in best reality shows?
Best one, I don't know. As far as successful, eh, the show's still on, I
I
think.
love that.
So
That show we used to watch a bunch. Did you see the latest season? There's like a woman who has no legs on the show on Naked and Afraid. I'm like,
I don't
what?
watch that. I actually
What?
saw a commercial where
I could
her
barely
stuff is
survive
getting
with
dragged on the
all my
branches.
limbs. Yeah.
Yeah, that is gnarly. But you got obviously Survivor's the most successful. The Bachelor is obviously a successful franchise. And
Hmm.
it just makes my heart hurt for Chris Harrison because Jeff Probst is the host of Survivor. And he knows his niche. He knows what he's good at. He's so good. He's like, listen, I'm just the host of Survivor. He's got a great gig. And if you see him now to what he was when the show first started, I mean, it's kind of nice to see him age a little bit and not a bad way. It's just like, man, this guy really is the show. Like, Jeff Probst is the show. And now even
How much do you
watching
think Jeff Probst is worth at this point?
that's the crazy part is, man, he's
I'm
got to
gonna
be
Google. Not that Googling is ever accurate
accurate.
when it comes to, but I am curious if they have any, like Forbes has anything. Jeff Probst net worth. Let me see. Don't look at celebrity net worth. That shit's never right. The richest, yeah, they don't have any actually quality. Yeah, who
It doesn't
knows?
even guess.
Now, let's see. In Touch has one. Let's see. Let's see if they're now, because you know what? They're going to also credit Celebrity Net Worth, which is never accurate. Yeah, Celebrity Net Worth has them at 50 million. I mean,
He has
I
more
could
than that.
not. I couldn't. I wouldn't know if that's
Here's
accurate.
the thing. He's got to be, I have to mention, EP of the show now. That show has also become its own show. They have international versions of that show.
Hmm.
So if you came up with that show and 30 countries have their own version of Survivor, you get
And you're
paid
just
on those
getting
shows.
royalties off of all of it.
Like the guy who made, I met the guy, and he was not he wasn't the nicest guy. We had a meeting with him. He really wasn't that warm to me, in my opinion. Is a guy who created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
Yeah.
and that guy, like, that show went to so many different countries, and he keeps getting paid on that and paid on that and paid on that. So I think Jeff Probst is, I don't even know how much money he's got, but Chris Harrison, you know, he was so good as the host of The Bachelor. He knew, hey, this is going to be doing forever, and unfortunately, he kind of fell out. He got screwed. Chris
He got
Harrison got
canceled.
screwed,
He got canceled during cancel time.
and he's never going to go back. And to me, it hurt the franchise because now all of a sudden
What?
they're not doing The Bachelorette. Bachelor in Paradise is still up, and no one knows what's going on. But obviously, the most successful reality show of all time, Survivor. Amazing Race, most people would say second. And then you have like those singing shows, like American Idol and The Voice. I mean, those shows are up there. So
But think about that gig for Seacrest. My God, what a great gig he landed that one. Do you remember? Because he was starting to become famous, but he wasn't the name that we all know him today. That one, landing a gig that would go for 20 years. Like, what a sweet thing that turned out to be, and made him a household name. Like, truly amazing.
yeah, pretty insane.
And I guess you'd say The Voice with what's his name? What the hell's his name?
Buble, Usher, John
No,
Legend,
no,
Carson.
Mario, not Carson. Carson, like, what a reinvention of his career too, landing The Voice, because he also kind of had fallen out of the spotlight.
He's got a good gig, dude. He's on the Today Show for like 7 minutes, and I say that. Yeah. I mean, he does like a quick hit on the Today Show every morning. I think he's like in and out of the show and just like runs home right away. And then he's
Where
got The
does
Voice, which is extra money.
where does the Kardashians land in the top 10 of best or biggest, most successful reality shows? Because that one, I would argue, would be up there at like number 2,
I would
maybe
say
3.
it was very influential because it started the Kardashian franchise, the Kardashian empire. And there were spin-offs that came from Keeping Up the Kardashians. And it was also so unique. It was more unique than any of their family reality shows like the Osbournes because the show kind of went along with the current news cycle. And they would also break news on the reality show. So it kind of went hand in hand. So I think it was just a very unique show, the way they put it together. But I think it also, part of it was one of the things that got started started the influencer movement in that
Mm-hmm.
show
Well,
because
think about this.
the clothes was just so unique.
So you've got Ryan Seacrest in American Idol, Ryan Seacrest producing Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Think about how much money is involved in just those 2 shows. And now you got him on, what is it, Wheel of Fortune, which is one of the biggest game shows of all time. And he's producing, he's on it. Dude, I'm just thinking about how lame my life is now.
I know. But the thing, he just takes checks from the Kardashians. He just takes the
Yeah, but
American Idol, he works.
you got to remember, he was the reason that show got on air, though.
Yeah.
So
now he does nothing. He just
he
collects a
makes a
paycheck.
ton of money. He used to have a lot more hands-on, but now the Kardashians kind of keep the ball rolling without him. But like, think about that. Think how much money he gets off just the Kardashian. I gotta go. I'm so sad with my life right now.
Well, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow us on our private Facebook group called Off the Record. Fun community. We all talk to each other. We kind of just BS with each other. It's fun. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. See you guys on Friday for our Raw Rundown.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.